Jacob, who was known around this small town that he lived in as Mr. Handyman, was a very reliable person. He was a hard-working person, and he was honest. And just about everybody in town used him when they needed some kind of repairs done. Well, this particular morning, Tina was waiting for Jacob, the handyman, to get to her house, and they had an appointment at 10 o'clock. Jacob didn't show up, and so Tina right away knew that there must be a problem because he, as I said, was a very reliable person. He finally showed up about an hour late, and sure enough, there had been a problem. He had had a flat tire. And now that he was there at Tina's house, he was trying to get his power tools to work, and he couldn't get them to work. So he wasn't able to do the job that Tina wanted him to do, but he did some other things around there for her. Come time to go home, Jacob went out and got in his truck, and you guessed it, problems again. The truck wouldn't start. So he asked Tina if she could please take him home. When they arrived at Jacob's house, he asked Tina if she'd like to go in and meet his wife and his kids. And she said sure. So as they were walking up to the front door to go in the house, Tina noticed a small tree not too far from the front door, and Jacob had stuck out his hand and just briefly touched the branches of that tree. And then they opened the door and went on in the house. And after he had touched the branches of that tree, Tina noticed a totally different person. Jacob had a smile on his face, and he gave each one of his kids a hug, and he gave his wife a hug and a kiss, and he was just a different person. So when Tina got ready to leave, Jacob walked out to her car with her, and she asked him about that tree. And he says, "Oh, that." He says, "I call that my trouble tree." He says, "I know I'm going to have problems during the day and troubles, and those troubles and problems don't belong in my house with my kids and my wife. So when I get home, I touch that tree and I leave all my troubles on that tree. And I ask God if He will take care of them." And you know, God does take care of our troubles. Reading from Psalms chapter 46 and verse 1, reading from the Living Paraphrase Bible, says, "God is our refuge and strength, a help in time of trouble." And one other scripture is from 1 Peter chapter 5 and verse 7. "Let God have all your worries and cares." And the King James Version of that verse says, "Cast all your cares upon Him, for He cares for you." Folks, do you leave your cares with the Lord? I trust that you do. Thank you.